This is GabNet, the great American broadcast network. Talk like you've never heard it before. Ladies and gentlemen, the history of talk radio. Political opinions have been a staple of radio since the early 1920s. Talk radio as a listener participation format has existed since at least the mid-1940s. WMCA New York's Barry Gray was bored with playing music and put a telephone receiver up to his microphone to talk with band leader Woody Herman. This was soon followed by listener call-ins. In 1948, disc jockey Alan Courtney began a call-in program on WGBS Miami. The Alan Courtney Open Phone Forum was a conservative and anti-communist political forum with coverage area over the southeast United States and Cuba. In the 50s, Joe Pine, John Neville, and Gene Shepard were among the first to explore the medium. In recent years, talk radio has gained popularity with many new formats flourishing, including all sports in 1986 with the birth of WFAN New York. The subject matter for these formats are different, but the structure has remained the same for all these years. You might say, talk radio is a 20th century format. Until now, that is. It's 2014. And radio pioneer and innovator Alex Bennett introduces the Citizen Panel on GabNet, the first revolutionary idea in the format since its inception. The Citizen Panel allows for an open discussion to take place between the host and many listeners all at the same time. Listeners claim that it's addictive, producing stimulating discussions on any topic from politics to movies and entertainment. It's not liberal or conservative. It's open to all opinions and ideas. Log on to gabnet.net to listen and find out how you can participate. Listen to the programs on GabNet and take a step into 21st century talk radio. We're GabNet, and we've got you covered live 5 nights a week. First Tuesday through Friday at 9:30 Eastern, it's The Exchange.
Dumbass Award for today goes to Wu Yongyi. According to the South China Morning Post, Wu was trying to win a $15,000 prize in a roof-topping challenge, allegedly to pay for an upcoming wedding and to cover medical costs for his mother.
Oh, God. And now his mom's lost her son.
Yeah.
Tuesday through Friday at 10 Eastern, join Alex Bennett on The Ramble.
PBS, of all organizations, would get rid of him based on innuendo, based on unsubstantiated facts, and then not presenting him with the facts first so he could try to reply to them. None of that happened. So next time these little weasels knock on your door or your television door and say, hey, we're holding a pledge break, don't give them a fucking cent.
Tuesday through Friday at midnight, The Intersection.
There's always someone invading Israel.
Well, when are we
the Babylonians?
All right. But when are we going to grow up? When are we going to grow up enough on this planet to say, look, until we get interstellar space travel, we're all stuck here, and we might as well accept that. Get along. And if we can't get along, at least we should have regulated wars.
If you like sports, we've got that too, with The Arena, Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Having to come out of the game for a concussion, so they will try and, if they know that they got their bell rung, they'll, grab for their hip or their side or something like that, so, it doesn't look like they have a concussion.
Finally, you can get hot and bothered on Connections at 10 p.m. Eastern Monday and by delay Tuesday through Friday at 1 a.m. Eastern.
Welcome to Connections. It's Friday. It's our conspiracy theory night.
It's not just pizza.
Theories, for that matter. Orlando Fringe will be representing tonight. A little bit of that's going to come in here in a second. We got Megan Marsh. Earlier I thought it said Meghan Markle, and I was like, oh my God, you mean the one that's going to marry Harry? And then I realized it wasn't.
Catch up on all the shows with our weekend flashback. All shows have the Citizen Panel, an exclusive concept of GabNet. It's new, it's daring, it's talk like you've never heard it before. Reasons why you tune into GabNet. Reason number 29, the Citizen Panel.
I'm saying that he could actually, a good lawyer might be able to make a case that he cannot get a fair trial anywhere in the United States because the President of the United States said, quote, he should be executed. And if you can't find a fair jury anywhere in this country because they've all been exposed to this.
No, he'll never go to trial if he's treated as an enemy combatant.
He's not being treated as an enemy combatant, Phil.
He's basically a citizen. He has a green card. He has all the rights that a citizen of the United States has because he has a green card. Either you want to follow the Constitution of the United States or not. Go to Russia if you don't want to follow the rules.
He said that he did this for ISIS. He had a note in his thing. He had phone call on his cell phone, and he says that he did it for ISIS. Therefore,
okay, so Phil, if you did that, you should be able to be treated as enemy combatant.
I think so.
Gabnet. Reasons to listen every day. Log on to gabnet.net for more. Gabnet. It's talk like you've never heard it before. Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before, this is Gabnet, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Everybody sing. Hi everybody, how are you? I'm Alex Bennett and this is the Ramble. I'm starting off the show tonight with major competition in that what's his name? Trump, our president, is holding a speech to convince, and he's kind of doing his own Ed Sullivan show by introducing people in the audience that can get sympathy for the things that he believes in. And it's kind of interesting as I watch it because he's using human misery and putting it up there in the bleachers, and they're crying and they're doing all kinds of things, and it's not good. It's, you know. But look, I'm not going to say anything nice about this guy, so don't expect it out of me. I could play a little bit of him. There he is.
And unmatched power is the surest means to our true and great defense. For this reason, I am asking Congress to end the dangerous defense sequester and fully fund our great military.
Okay. All right. So it's all predictable. Most of it's predictable. He had a couple of things that we'll talk about it later that, you know, I don't necessarily disagree with. Let me get rid of him off my screen here. I don't even want him. Anyway, the president's giving his speech. I would play the part of it that that's going on right now, except for one small little fact, and that is that I don't want to. And the reason I don't want to is because I'm working on stuff at the same time as I'm talking to you. I don't want to because if I play it, by tomorrow when somebody might be listening to this, it'll be old stuff. So why do it anyway, right? So anyway, I'm just doing it that way. Okay, so we're not going to play it. All right. Okay, I'm sorry. I would like to play it for you, but it doesn't serve me any great purpose except to waste time on this program where someone would be listening to it later and going, why should I do that? Plus, I don't have a graphic of the president to put up, and I don't give a shit, okay? Now, let me explain a few things to you. I've made some changes here. And it's a temporary change that I hope will be a permanent change. Okay, for a while we've been using Facebook Live. Facebook Live came about, and we said, well, we'll give it a try. When we first did it, man, we got amazing amounts of people listening to us because it was a novelty. And now Facebook Live isn't a novelty, but Facebook Live sucks. I mean, in comparison. If you're watching us right now, and I'll explain how you can watch us right now, you're seeing a better picture than you've probably ever seen on Facebook Live. And it's I think, going to be just fine. We have a great chat thing going that's there, a live chat that you can do, and it's on YouTube, okay? Now, here's how you get to it, okay, in case you're listening over on the audio side and you're going, oh, where is it? Well, to begin with, if you're over on our Gabnet page, there's an actual link to it. There's a new link I put up that said, but on Monday through Fridays at 10 o'clock, click on this and you can see the program. Actually, what you can do, you can actually make this a tab on your browser and always go there. And when we're on, it'll be active. And when we're not on, it won't be active. Okay? It's as simple as that. So I'm just telling you now that you can actually just always have it open and be ready for the show when you want to be ready for the show. And when you don't want to be ready for the show, then you don't have to. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? In other words, how this thing works is that you go to the page and it says live stream inactive or something like that. And then when I push the button here, all of a sudden you see me on your screen. So there's nothing you really have to do. You don't have to reboot or do anything. Just make a tab, if you know how to make a tab on your browser, and have that tab be our video tab. And whenever we're doing a live program, and we may do more than just this one, it will play. And after the show, for those of you who are wedded to Facebook Live, we will post the show to Facebook Live, but we're not going to post it until after the show is over, because obviously we won't have a recording of it till then. But you can watch. Now, what you do is you can go to my Facebook page, and I will have a thing there saying, you want to watch the show tonight? Here's the link, okay? It'll be there every night, and that way you can watch it. Now, I don't know how many people are watching. Well, we've got a handful of people watching it tonight, and we'll see what it turns out to be. Right now, as I look at it, it's about what it was when we were on Facebook Live. But the question is, are people finding it? You might want to put on the chat whether you just found it or not, and give me a buzz on it. Let's see here. Is there anybody saying anything? There we go. Okay. No, just Forbin Colossus is chatting right now. But if somebody else would like to chat, we'd love to hear from you. I'm wearing a turtleneck tonight. You might just write and tell us what you think of the video and everything. I am wearing a turtleneck tonight, and the reason I'm wearing a turtleneck is I was wearing this today when I went to court. Yes, today we had our court date for this whole thing with the rental here, with the place we're renting. We are now going, as of April, I think, it will be 5 years that this thing has been going on. It's actually been going on longer than that, but 5 years. So we've been basically squatters here because who do we send the rent to? Where's our lease? We need a lease. So there's this whole court battle that's taken place, and I got to tell you, it costs a lot of money. So far, girlfriend through her loan has put out and paid back most of $40,000, and we're nowhere near a resolution. What stands to happen now is, what we went through today is that the guy who is suing the two of us, the landlord and us, okay, wanted injunctive relief or something like that, where he is prevailing upon the judge, okay, to find in his favor without any trial or anything. Here's all the evidence, and you come on, give us the goods. And of course, the landlord then filed a counter to that one, and we didn't file anything. We just kind of sat there and filed our own brief saying why we felt it shouldn't happen. So today was the day that they actually had a court date. This thing's been going on for a year, waiting for a court date, waiting for a court date, waiting for a court date. So today we have a date on this particular procedure, not on whether, we should stay here or not stay here or whatever. And we go there, and it is, I got to tell you, let me just give you an idea of the enormity of I keep looking back here because I can see the numbers of people that are watching, which is good. I love this picture, by the way. It looks great. Anyway, so we go there, and it starts off. And she is the judge, a woman, very, I hope, nice woman. I will think wonderful of her if everything turns out our way. But anyway, she then starts pulling out all the materials she has on this case. And I swear to you, she gets one pile of one brief thing, and it's that thick. And the next one, that thick. And the next one, that thick. All right? By the time we're through, we have a pile of papers that I swear are this high. Now, these are all the papers. These are all the documents that so far have been presented in this case by the 3 different lawyers. Is this really necessary? I mean, can't we simplify this process? And secondly, I'm not a guy with a great amount of money at this point in my life. My wife works, but I don't want her to have to work any longer. I'd like her to go into retirement with me and learn the joys of having nothing to do with your miserable fucking life. But we don't have huge money at our disposal. She has a loan we've taken off on her apartment, which, believe me, her apartment's worth way more than the loan, and she's paid back most of it, okay? So that's where we're getting our money from. Meanwhile, the landlord owns a building here that's got to be worth $200-300 million, maybe more, I have no idea. And they own a lot of other properties around, and they've been making money for years, so they can afford to just play the lawyer game. Okay, Emily, send them $40,000. And so they're able to play out that clock now, but they're on our side. We're kind of co-defendants. The other guy was a basketball player, and we assume has a decent amount of money, but I don't know how he's affording this even, but he is. And the question is, what happens to somebody like me, like my wife and I, if you don't have this kind of money to fight this kind of thing? Well, if you don't, I guess you go to, there's another court here, and that is the renter's court or whatever. And you go and you plead it there, and you get yourself a lawyer who is going to work in your behalf because it's pro bono or whatever, and he'll tell you, well, just pay the ticket or whatever the thing is. So really, we would probably not even be here now if we couldn't somehow finagle the money for the lawyers. But all I could see when I saw that pile of papers was if we spend $40,000, then the landlord paid at least $40,000, and the guy who is suing both of us, and we're suing him back, paid another $40,000. There was a lot of money that had been made in that room. And how does that serve justice? Should I have to sit around? Should any of us have to sit around for the better part of, it's going on 5 years to find resolution? And we probably are not going to find resolution this year, because I was told today that the judge hopefully will judge that there's no kind of injunctive relief that she's going to give or whatever it's called. And I said, what happens then? Well, he says, well, then we go to trial. I said, when's that? He said, a year or more. A year or more? You mean I have to go through this more than I have already? So, I mean, it was amazing to sit there and watch it, to watch what was going on. And the strange thing was, number one, you couldn't hear too well because there were no microphones in there. So they could hear each other, the lawyers and the judge, but back, the room was hollow and it was hard to hear. We couldn't tell whether we were winning or whether we were losing or what the fuck was going on. But one person presents their case, and then they're being asked questions by the judge, and then another person, and then ultimately our guy gets up and he gives his, and he did a very good job of it. And we don't know what to think because she's acting a certain way, and the girlfriend's looking at me going, I don't know if we're going to win this thing. And then, then all of a sudden she turns on that lawyer and she goes. And finally at the end, when it's all over, our lawyer comes over to us and we said, well, how do you think it went? And he said, well, walk out with me. And so we walked out. And he said, I think you're in great shape. He said, I can't see that, he said, all that was about the two of them. I made my case. She kind of felt I had made it and moved on to the rest of the stuff. She said, it looks like we're in damn good shape. But I said, we didn't get that watching it. And he says, I know, it's not that way. You're not going to get it, He said, there's a lot of stuff going on. You don't understand the dance that's going on. So we walked with him, and we walked back to his office, and we were going to go get something to eat. And all of a sudden I realized I left my iPad back in the courtroom. So now I run back. His girlfriend says, I'll stay here. And I went, oh, God, I run back. It's at least a quarter of a mile, maybe a half a mile. And I go to the courthouse, and luckily it's still open. And I go up to the courtroom, and I look first in the ante room to see if it's there. It's not there. I'm going, oh, my God, it's in the courtroom. I hope the courtroom is open. I pull on the door. The door opens, and as I'm pulling the door open, the clerk is walking towards me because she's going to take this bag that has my iPad in it upstairs to the 5th floor for lost and found. And I said, that's mine. And she says, oh, good. I said, thank you very much. And I left. All I'm thinking about is now I got to this is not only costing $40,000, it's going to cost $41,000 because I'm going to have to buy a new iPad. So anyway, it was just that I was so wanting to talk to him that I completely forgot my iPad. And luckily I was going to say, let's go take this train. And she said, no, let's walk with the lawyer for a while. And if we hadn't walked with the lawyer, I would have been on the train already before I realized I didn't have my iPad. Because I don't normally carry my iPad wherever I go. Some people carry it wherever they go, and so they know it's there and it's in there, and that's what they're supposed to do. But I don't. And so I would have forgotten it. And so it's just pure luck that I was able to go back and get the goddamn thing. And I probably would have been able to get it the next day if I went down there and went to the 5th floor and went to Lost and Found and said, yeah, that's my bag. That's my iPad. Hey, it's a building full of cops. What can I say? Hopefully they're not going to steal. So anyway, And so that's the sum total of it. So what do you think so far? Let's see here. How many people we got watching? The normal amount are watching, So, it's just a question of I won't get a total like I used to get, but I don't care. Tell me, do you like the picture? Do you think it's better than we've been getting here? Scott says, is Ivanka wearing a throw rug? No, he's wearing the throw rug. Let me see here. Anybody else? Louise Eitland says, hi, Alex. Okay. And that Fracking Cat says, watching the State of the Union and listening. Good, Fracking. Good to hear from you, too. Took me a minute to get here, but I had the audio on. Okay, so you see, and the picture, I think, it's larger. It looks better. I think this is like 720p, I think, is what it is. And so Forbin, who you see his name here, Forbin Colossus, has for the longest time been nagging me to go to YouTube. And I haven't wanted to do it. And finally, the other night, he wrote me again. He said, give it a try, give it a try. So I went on and I played with it. And I saw that, the picture is better. I have no idea how the sound is because I don't have the audio on. Here, wait a minute. Maybe I can turn it on here for a second and I can hear. Go to YouTube. And hey, the sound sounds better than it sounds on Facebook. People, you can write up there. Just tell me, do you think it sounds better and looks better than it has looked in the past? I think it does. So we'll just hope and pray that. And it's easier for me to do, by the way. It's just where the other way I had to take some numbers and put them in, so it goes to Facebook, and then it turns the Facebook thing on. But if I turned it off, I could turn this off right now and turn it right back on. The picture would stop, and then it would start again, okay? It's that simple for me. So it's a very simple process now. So I really prefer this to the way we were doing it. So sounds great, dude, says Scott Boddicker. Good, Scott. I love it. Picture is tremendous. Yeah. Speech is so long, I think the Donald's wearing depends and cramping while he's talking. That's from Forbin Colossus. It could well be true, my friend. Is he still going? Really? Wait a minute, hold on a second. Let me look at this. I can't believe, because, usually they go 50 minutes. Maybe they go an hour. Let me see here. Let me just turn on the picture and see. That I have to turn on. There we go. And then I got to turn that on, and I can get a look. You'll be able to see the screen over here. Come on. Go on. Okay, there we go. It's on. Okay. He's still going? God damn it. Shut the fuck up, you miserable shit. Oh, boy. Well, anyway, that's my... hope you enjoyed that, folks. That's my opinion of the president. He's still going? That means that this speech has gone so far an hour and 20 minutes. So, anyway. Anything else I want to talk about? Yeah, no, that was it. The lawyer, the legal thing, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to more of it. It's just, somebody said to me, I think it was my friend Shecky, who said to me, you'll be dead before this thing is over. And you know something? He could well be right. I mean, I have another year at least if this isn't, and we're hoping and praying it isn't over at this point. But Jesus, it's just amazing to me. Just amazing to me. Yeah. Anyway, and I had to pee a lot. For some reason, last night I got up like 3 times last night to pee. And I don't usually do that because I'm taking the medicine and all of that, and But I think it's because my diet doesn't seem to be working. So I've gotten very strict on my low carb, and that sometimes causes you to pee more. So anyway, I may have to run out during the show and pee because I was sitting there like having to pee in the worst way while this whole thing was going on in court, and I don't want to miss a minute of it because, I could miss the part where she goes, pay the money, so anyway. Let's see here. How many people are watching us? That's a lot. That's good. We're getting there. Now, there's one other thing, and let me say this to you. If this is the first time you've come over to watch anything on YouTube or to watch a live show on YouTube, do me a favor. We have about 440 subscribers. That's not a lot. If I get 1,000 subscribers, I can convert to Super Chat, whatever that is. And I want to do that. So, if you will, wherever you can, subscribe to this channel, okay? I don't know where you would go to get to subscribe to it, though. It's not like there's suddenly a thing here that says subscribe. And I don't know if it would say so for me because, well, just go over to Alex Bennett. Put in Alex Bennett and look for my channel. My channel, and there you'll be able to subscribe to it. I don't know. I may not be getting somewhat the same stuff that you're getting, only because it's on my account, and so it might not say, "Hey, subscribe," because obviously I'm okay. Just later on, after the show's over, go over to Alex Bennett, okay? Just put in Alex Bennett on YouTube, and you'll see an Alex Bennett channel. Click on that, and then go subscribe to it, because I'd like more than 440 subscribers. And it's good. I have 440, and I never even tried to use this system. So, anyway, is he still talking? I'm not going to pay attention to that. What the hell? Let me see here. Let me turn on Skype. Okay. This is so much easier, and the video doesn't chatter or stop or have any problems, and it's big, and it looks good, and it's terrific. So everybody, give me a call. Hold on a second. Let me get rid of some of these people here, some of this stuff here. There we go. There we go. Getting rid of that. Okay. All right. I just had to do some stuff here to get us ready for action. And listen to me. I'm sniffling. Do you mind if I blow my nose? Oh, well. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Here comes Phil Meyer. Hello, Phil. How are you?
All right, I can fix my camera.
Yeah, move your camera down a little bit. Yeah,
this is
because
the machine.
Look at him. He looks like it looks like Kilroy was here.
Let me find the camera in here. There's software for it.
Can't you just move it? Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah. Well, I could, but that controls horizontal. It controls the vertical.
Yeah. Here's Scott. Here's Scott.
Hello,
here's
Phil. How are you?
All right. How are you?
Scott, we can't even see you. You're like you're in a witness protection program.
I'm watching the rump on TV.
Yeah, the rump on TV. I've never
been so proud. He's doing a great job, and I was watching that scourly Nancy Pelosi sit there and scour and at things that. You know, hey, we need unity.
The word
we need to come
hold on a
together.
second. The word
and she sits there and scours.
The word isn't scour. That's something you do with a Brillo pad. Scowl is scowl. Scowl is the word you're looking for.
Scour. Hey, you know, what do you want? I got a grade school education.
I get pissed off when I see a Democrat stand up and applaud.
You know, but there's a lot of stuff that they should have stood up and applauded for, and they didn't. You could have said. We want peace on earth. And they would have sat there and said, that son of a bitch, Trump.
they would have stood up if Trump would have keeled over, I'm sure.
Yeah.
No, if he had keeled over, though, nobody would have gone over to help him.
Yeah. They would have been rushing to get a bigger office so they can get more money for their reelection.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, but I got to tell you, is it still going on?
That just ended.
Ended. Do you realize that speech was it was an hour and 25 minutes?
Yeah, they said it was going to be an hour.
Oh, well, apparently he had so many applause breaks he couldn't stand it.
Well, you know,
and what was the Ed Sullivan routine? Constantly referring to people in the balcony. To begin with, every president does that, but not that many.
Well, he had a lot of successes in the last year.
Oh, yeah, a lot of successes. This woman helped kids in a burning fire. That was his success? I don't think so.
Well, he's lauding that success.
No planes have crashed. No planes have crashed, man. Thanks, Trump.
Yeah. Hey, turn on a light so we can see your face.
No, you don't need to see me. You know what I look like. You'll just make fun of my hair.
You're on YouTube, Scott. He wants a good presentation. Yeah. If we're going to be part of this group, we got to do our best to aid to the quality of the show.
I don't want people on YouTube looking at me.
Well, they look at you anyway, and they say, what the hell is that, Jesus Christ? Yeah. Actually, you're starting to look like that Big Lebowski thing.
Lebowski,
whatever.
Well,
I do like White Russians.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if anybody else calls. They're probably all still watching the thing. So did you have?
Probably hung themselves.
Did either of you have any trouble going and getting this video?
No.
The YouTube? No, it was easy.
You know what happens if you put it as a page in your browser, it'll just say not live, not streaming right now. And then as soon as I start streaming, it will start up. So you don't have to do anything.
I have a friend who makes his living pretty much off of YouTube. And I get an email or I get something that says Matt is live right now.
Well, then probably all my subscribers get that too.
I don't know. I have to subscribe, and I got to remember what my sign-in is for YouTube in order to subscribe. It wants me to sign in.
Yeah. Well, either that or just sign in as somebody else, you know.
I looked my buddy up, and he has 554,000 subscribers.
Really?
On YouTube. Yeah.
Well,
it's the eighth. I think they said he was in either 8th percentile or the 8th highest.
And what does he do that attracts these people?
Makeup tips.
Yeah, makeup tips, and he's got a cat. No, what he does is he does a lot of photography instruction, and he goes all over the world trying out different cameras and just sort of doing a travel log. He leads classes but for the most part, he has a lot of box openings and comparisons.
Well, you know, if we could just get some woman with big tits or something here, I could probably approach that number.
Well, but
the only tits here are mine, and they're not really.
Well, he usually has whatever model he's working with.
Yeah.
He's got a couple that are consistent and very good looking.
Oh, I see. Well, that's it. See,
it really helps.
Yeah.
But he really established his channel on his own.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it sounds.
It took him about 7 years.
Oh, it took him about 7 years. It took me 7 years to get 440 people to subscribe to mine. But there's really been nothing there. You know, there's been no reason to. And now I'm only asking people to do it so I can get, up to 1,000 people. So,
hey, Alex, I pushed a button on the YouTube thing under your picture. It said subscribe, and it went from 402 to 403. So.
Oh, okay. So it's on the page. See, I can't tell here because what I'm getting are my pages.
Okay.
So my pages obviously wouldn't say subscribe, but if everybody has a subscribe on their page, just click subscribe, and then
you have to sign in to subscribe.
Huh?
You have to sign in to subscribe.
I didn't.
Well, maybe you've already signed in.
It went up to. I saw it. Maybe somebody else did it too, but I clicked it, and it went from 402 to 403. I don't know what it's. What it's.
I pushed the subscribe, and it said you got to sign in.
Oh, okay. Well,
maybe I'm signed. I don't know.
You might be signed in.
Yeah, but
am I?
We're going to see. I mean, so far right now, I have more people than usually on an average are listening at any one time. So it could turn into something good. But I need more people to call so I can show people what a citizen panel is. So anyway, you were proud of your boy Trump tonight.
Yeah, I think he did a good job. And you know what? It's time to start running
I think he did a horrible job. I cannot take him. Wait a minute. I cannot take him reading from a teleprompter any longer. You remember this was the guy.
Don't look at
Obama does.
No. Do you remember he was the guy who assailed Obama for using a teleprompter?
Right. He's the guy that is growing in the job and realizes if he doesn't.
Part of growing in the job is to learn as well as Obama how to use that teleprompter, and that does not include staring at it all the time.
Well, Obama just happens to be a lot better at using the teleprompter.
Well, so was George Bush, and so was Bill Clinton, and so was Bush before him, and so was Ronald Reagan.
Would you be happier if he just talked off the cuff?
Yes, because I don't feel he's sincere when I know he is just reading. He's not selling it. He's not selling it.
All the points that he made are his genuine points and the things that he set out to do before he got elected.
Mm-hmm.
And
by the way, did he talk at all about how good the stock market is doing?
Yeah, well, didn't they go down a little bit today?
A little bit. It went down 350 points.
350 points to a $26,000 market.
Believe me, you have a couple of more of those days and we're in bad shape.
Yeah.
Hello to Jeff, and hello to Rob Alfano. Wait a minute. Here, is his camera going to cut in? Let's see. We're waiting. That's what I hate about that circle that goes around. You're waiting and you're waiting.
Hey, Alex, I'm going to give you a shot. I'm on the new machine tonight. Any difference?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew you'd say that.
No, there isn't any difference. In fact, it seems a little blurrier. Yeah. Yes. Hello, Rob.
How are you?
Did you check us out on YouTube?
No, I was watching the president.
Oh, okay. Because we're on YouTube now. We're not using Facebook Live anymore.
Oh no.
You know, and all you got to do is I have on Gabnet.net we have a link to the page where it's playing live, and also on my Facebook page there is a thing where you can click on it and it'll take you to where we're live. And that page, you can actually put a tab in your browser, and it will only become active when I push a button here and start streaming. Otherwise, it says not live streaming at the moment. And then when I click it, all of a sudden, you get it's a lot easier. And it's a better picture, and it's better audio. And goodbye, Facebook. You know, I see no reason to continue using Facebook. The pictures I see here on all of this is just spectacular, you know.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Yeah. So and I got to thank Forbin Colossus, who for months has been saying go to YouTube, go to YouTube, go to YouTube, and I've resisted it, and all of a sudden tonight I went, okay, we'll go to YouTube. So here we are. Did you listen to the speech at all there, Rob?
I watched the entire speech.
Oh, God help you. What did you think?
I thought it was the most presidential I've ever seen him.
Yeah.
And there were things I agreed with. The infrastructure.
Yeah.
You know, reducing the price of prescription drugs.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how he does on that and what what we're going to have to pay for it. You know, in other words, is it just going to lower the drugs, or is something else going to happen, or is something else going to happen before he makes that happen? You know, are we going to be held hostage for it?
There was an announcement, I think it was yesterday, Warren Buffett and I believe Apple and Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, Apple, and one other large company.
What do you call it?
Is it Exxon? Or?
No, it was a bank. I think it's Chase.
JP
Morgan
and
Chase.
What they said was they want to fix healthcare. That the rising costs of healthcare are getting out of hand.
Well, they don't want to fix healthcare. That's not what they're saying. They want to give better. No, they want to give better healthcare to their employees. That's what this is. And it's not like they're coming out with a new plan that you and I can buy.
Well, I think you'd have to fix it if you want to have a better plan, right? Because it's costing so much money. You're going to have to find a way to get costs down.
Well, and one of the ways
it is a good start, and hospitals need to be next. We need to figure out why it is that an aspirin costs so much in a hospital.
You know, an aspirin has always cost that for years. That was always the big joke. Hey, an aspirin, I got it on my bill. It was $33 or something like that. Here's the thing with what Buffett and company are doing is between them they've got 1 million employees. That gives them a bargaining power you won't believe. Yeah. You know, every prescription thing, every medical plan people, whatever, are going to be jumping through hoops to do business with them.
Yeah.
You know, it's too bad that we can't do the same thing. You know, that we don't have that same leverage. We do. What happened to Scott? Yeah.
We lost connection.
We lost an action. Yeah.
It's connection.
Could it be his connection, or was he just that was it and he's gone for the night? You know.
He doesn't do that.
Yeah, he doesn't do Anyway, so where was I? Where was I? It would be nice if we could come out with something where we have that same kind of power. But they're going to give a plan to their employees. It's going to be a real great plan, they think. I mean, they must have thought this out. They didn't just suddenly decide, let's do a press release and see what the public thinks, you know. So I think,
I don't see, if this is a model, other people can join that model. My company, we invented something called Biz Unite. Which is a website that gives small businesses access to some of the buying power that we have as a company. Some of our deals, whether it be cell phone or processing your payroll, a number of things. I haven't made any money on Biz Unite, but I own a share of it, and so the idea is that other companies can join in on this. It's almost the co-op idea that my buying group is that they can join in on this and reap those benefits. Why couldn't the 1 million employees that are working for these three large companies be the beginning seed for these benefits to be available to everyone? Mute.
we should. Jeff, mute your phone. Mute your Skype.
You're speaking into his earphones, and they're sitting on the counter.
At the earphone. Okay, all right. And wait a minute. Hold on a second. Here goes the earphones. Jeff, next time you go off to talk to somebody, mute your microphone, will you?
Oh, I didn't mute it?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. We heard you making that deal with a hooker, and it wasn't very.
Oh, boy.
He doesn't have it on speakers.
Well, I mean, for instance, my union, we're going over to my union's health plan. As I'm able to get a senior thing with having it be a what do you call it? A supplemental to my whatever, and it cost me a little just edge over $2,000 a year, which is cheaper than any supplemental plan you can buy, and it's all the bells and whistles and a few things more, like $2,500 a year on dental, for instance.
Any deductible?
The deductible is $250 a person.
Oh, well, that's better than the 1,000.
Mine was 1,000. Yeah.
Right. And you were only seeing your other one wasn't really a supplemental. It was probably a full.
Well, here's I wish we had some lawyers. I think we could make a good suit with Oxford, because what they're doing is they're charging her company. You ready for this? $21,000 a year for our policy. All right. When they're only going to be responsible for 20%. Because it's the 20% that that Medicare doesn't take. So why should they be charging us like a full deal? They should be charging us like a supplemental, and they aren't.
If you didn't have Medicare, then they would be on the hook for everything but the $1,000.
Well, no, but they are. But they won't be on.
Have supplemental with them. But you just had a second insurance policy.
No, I have Medicare. What do you? Anybody who doesn't take Medicare when they turn of age for Medicare is nuts.
But the Oxford is not a supplemental that you had.
Well, what they should have done is they should have offered a supplemental for us, because they know that we have Medicare as our major. Here's the reason why we have Medicare as our major. If you're at a company and you have less than 100 people, I think it is, then Medicare becomes your primary. If you're at or maybe it's 50, I don't know. It's a certain number. And if you get if you have Medicare, but you're at a company with over 100 and you've got their policy, Medicare becomes your supplemental. See? So that's how it goes. And there are only 4 people on the plan where she works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's the problem. You'd be better off, if.
Well, with AFTRA, we've got how many members in SAG-AFTRA? Tens of thousands, maybe. Yeah. So obviously they can go in. They use I think Blue Cross is who they use basically, and they use Delta Dental and so on. But they can go in and negotiate the terms of these contracts because they've got this massive amount of people that these companies want to have.
That's right.
So that's how they do it. Now, what the biggest problem we've got in this country right now is, remember they came out with the medical portion of Medicare. You remember the Part D, I think it's called.
It's the drug.
Yeah, I don't have to deal with that because I get my drugs through Oxford, right?
Oh.
Okay, but what happened was
they don't deny it.
Yeah, huh?
When they don't deny coverage.
Well, on some drugs you do wind up having problems, you know, with these people. So anyway, the deal was that where was I going with that? I was talking about the.
Oh, your drugs were through Oxford.
Yeah. But the thing is that if we Medicare and the Part D.
Right.
Part of the specification of Part D when it was created was Medicare could not negotiate with the price with the drug companies. Where if they could, those drug prices would be lower.
Right.
But they weren't allowed to.
The fix was in.
The fix was in, exactly. You know, so here you had how many millions of people who were on Medicare and would get Part D, but that couldn't be negotiated. You know, that you're going to be able to use these people if you blah, 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 blah. So it really was, that was where they really went wrong. But, you know, the president's right. Drugs cost too much. I don't think he's going to wind up doing anything about it. I would not expect to see anything done about it. I would see him wanting to say, oh, I want to do something about it, and then those assholes in Congress just batting the ball around for years.
Well, there's a lot of obstructionists in Congress right now, about 49, not 40, in the Senate 49%, but in Congress.
Well, I consider that 49% obstructionists. I'd say they're 51% obstructionists in the Senate.
Well, it depends on which way you look at it.
I mean, if they are an obstructionist, you know, a lot of things would be possible. If everybody would work together in the best interest of the American people.
Right.
Would you not agree, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, just by the fact that they're not working together, just by the fact that they want to release this letter, they won't release both letters at the same time, the Republican letter and the Democratic. The fact that there has to be two separate letters it shows that they're not working together. They should if they truly believe that there's something going on with our Justice Department, there's corruption, then there should be a bipartisan group that gets together and goes behind closed doors and actually talks about it, and then they craft something together because it's in the best interest of this country, if it truly exists, to wipe it out.
So therefore you agree with Trump because that's exactly what he asked for in his speech. And I saw the majority of Democrats sitting there and Pelosi grinding her teeth.
No, as a matter of fact, I saw when that happened, I saw Schumer applauding.
Schumer, I think, is coming over. I think Schumer wants DACA to pass. Yeah, I think he might be a pretty good guy, and he really
he's a whore. He's a whore.
Well, he may be a whore, but he's actually doing his job. Pelosi just wants a jet when she becomes Speaker of the House again. See, remember when Pelosi first became Speaker of the House? She wanted her own 747, and they shot that down pretty quick.
I'll tell you something about Pelosi. I think if they do become the majority again, I don't think she's going to be the Speaker of the House.
I hope not.
You know, I think they'll find somebody else. What?
She was not good for government.
I don't think she was bad. She was just a fighter. You didn't like that.
Oh, I like fighters, but I want them to fight for the common good of the people.
Well,
not for their own benefit.
I don't see where Trump's doing anything for the good of the people. I mean, he likes to brag about the economy, but the economy isn't doing as well as other countries are doing right now.
other countries have been outpacing us for a long time.
And they're continuing to outpace us. So, but he's taking credit for things getting better, which were getting better anyway, and they're getting better internationally, but they're getting better in Europe and in Asia than they're getting here.
Oh, who are you going to blame for things getting better? Tony? You got to blame somebody. Blame Trump. Things are getting better.
No, I don't mind him. I don't mind him pointing out, well, things are getting better, but don't take the credit for it. Because what you're doing is the rest of the world has a trend going for it, and we're riding the crest of that trend, but below what they are, which means we are doing something here that's killing business.
Yes, and finally, it's getting turned around. We've been sending our jobs out of the country.
Really?
We've been sending our manufacturing.
What did I hear? What did I hear just the other day that in fact we've been losing business because of Trump?
I don't think so. There's been 2.5 million jobs, and
where are those 2.5 million jobs? 2.5 million jobs where?
In the United States.
What do you mean? Is that the increase in jobs?
I think that's what he said tonight.
Yeah, I think that's what. But he also said that in the manufacturing sector there was how many more? Rob, was it 200,000 or?
Well, I don't believe half the shit he says, because tonight when I was watching him, he said that Apple was going to spend $350 billion in this country, and that's not at all what Apple said.
He's going to bring back $350
No,
billion.
he said, I heard him tonight, he said, quote.
What's he going to do? What's Apple going to do with the money if they don't spend it and invest it?
They're going to spend $350 billion in this country, and that's not what Apple said. Apple said they were going to bring back $350 billion.
Right.
Now, Apple has not been known to unload a lot of money. Okay, they've been banking money for years. Okay,
right, but they can only bank so much.
But that was a fucking lie on Trump's part.
No, it's not.
No, they did not.
If you sit on $350 billion, you're going to want to invest it in something. You're going to buy some technology.
Of course, you're going to buy
Apple's.
They got to invest in about a half a dozen iPhone X's.
Yeah. what the situation is Apple hasn't had a winner for a while since Steve Jobs. They're going to have to come up with some innovation. Now they got $350 billion to.
I feel real sorry for Apple, and gee, let's give them $350 billion to go back into the marketplace and clobber everybody with their money. That's a shitty fucking phone. Somebody said it. Somebody said it at dinner the other night. They said anybody that has an iPhone X is a fastidious little asshole.
I always wanted to be an early adopter,
early adopter for a smaller phone than the old one.
Yeah, because the old one didn't fit in my cup holder in my car.
I see. But
it's always sliding off the console. Now I got one that fits in the cup holder.
Speaking of the car and your phone,
you can get a new car instead.
Did you
save the money?
Yeah, right.
By the way, if for I figured out for $128 billion, Apple could give away a free iPhone X to every family in America.
You hear that? I think Allstate is going to take advantage, or they're working on taking advantage of some technology that's in phones. And if this gets around, I mean, if this happens, it's going to go. It'll go through the entire. What they're able to do is take advantage on the phone of certain information that gyroscope or whatever it is in here that detects motion.
Oh,
and that if you're texting or using your phone while you're driving,
good,
they'll know.
Good.
And you'd be arrested
lives
for driving too fast.
Now, Rob, is your iPhone a rose-colored one?
No, the phone itself isn't. This case is.
Oh, okay.
I bought the wrong case. I picked the wrong case. It's not.
Did that come with some Hello Kitty stickers?
I knew you were going there.
Hey, don't talk to me, you fastidious little bastard, with your fucking iPhone X.
56 megs of memory here.
Yeah?
Use it well.
I believe I do too on mine.
Nah, you don't. You got 128.
Wait, oh, well, big deal. Hey, you going to put 256 on your phone? I want to tell me when you fill it up, okay? Or come close. When you go over 200,000, let me know.
I'll have an iPhone.
In fact,
11.
don't even let me know. Just leave a note on my grave.
Yeah, I'll have an iPhone 11 by that time.
I wonder what they're going to do when they do the iPhone 9, right? Because on the iPhone 8 now. They do the iPhone 9. What happened? What?
It's going to be a 9. I think they're going to go to 11 next.
Are they going to go to 11 next?
That's what I've read.
Mm-hmm. Is that going to be the? Is that going to be the? Is that going to be the Spinal Tap phone? Because it goes to 11.
And this iPhone 10 is going away. They're not going to lower the price. This is a short-term thing.
Yeah,
that's what it was supposed to be.
No, it wasn't supposed to be. Nothing's supposed to be short-term with Apple.
But this one will be
because it's not selling in China is the reason they're discontinuing it.
The issue is they're not selling as many, but the price of it, mine was $1,300, and because I got the 256, and whatever other crap you could get, so it was $1,300. If you just buy the base one, which I don't know what the memory is on that. It was $1,000, which was $200 more than the 8.
Have you noticed the motto on the back of your phone? A sucker's born every minute.
Yeah. Well,
listen, I wish there were a way I could get out of the Apple eco structure. It's just that I'm so wedded to it with my messages and with my all that stuff that I've got to have everything. My watch, my phone, my iPad all have to be Apple. But
I spent an hour and a half on the phone with Apple the other night, wiping my new computer, getting it all set up, and then the next night, once I had everything operating, they helped me migrate all my data from the Mini to the Pro. Now, let me tell you this: I didn't pay a penny for that. I got service. I got guys that spoke English perfectly. I got the kind of service that you used to get back in the 80s when you had WordStar and CPM.
I don't know who you called at Apple or who you're blowing at Apple.
Apple Care.
But wait a minute. Hold on a second. But I've called Apple Care, and I've gotten a foreign country.
Well, you know why? Because they're on to you, Bennett.
Maybe it's a time of day that you called.
I don't know.
We do follow the sun.
It was it was in the evening on maybe Saturday, and then on Sunday morning.
I mean, when Alex got out of the country, because they probably have a follow the sun support model where, if you call in the middle of the night or whatever, you might get support from outside the country. But I'll tell you what, they don't ever charge you for anything. I don't have Apple Care. I don't have any of that. I call, I have a problem, they take care of it.
And they don't give up.
Right.
They don't give up. They don't keep you plugged in your computer.
So you didn't know how to migrate your stuff over to your new machine?
No, because I didn't.
You don't do a backup on your machine?
No, I didn't have Time Machine, but there's a way of having them talk to one another.
Of course. But you have a cable.
Migration, migration assistant, and you got to get it going on both machines. And but
I've done that before. I have. You can go online and read about it, and it'll tell you how to do it.
When I got my iPhone, I just sat it next to my old iPhone, and it did what it had to do. I didn't have to do anything. I just, when it's set up, it had you set it next to the other one, and it just migrated automatically.
Yeah.
Whereas this computer, this wasn't a brand new computer. It belonged to my friend Matt, and he said he wiped it, but he actually didn't. So they had to go in something Command R, and they were able to go in and
you reformat the disk.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, they had me reinstall the operating system and so forth. And they stuck with me the whole time.
Yeah. Pretty good.
So, when you want to diss Apple, try getting that kind of help from Microsoft.
Yeah, the only thing I diss Apple about is their cost.
Well, you get what you pay for.
I guess.
Well,
yeah,
I don't agree. I think they're overcharging. I really do. I think they're charging way too much for their stuff.
You see, I would pay a couple $100 for concierge service, and I'm not having to pay that. It's free.
No, but what I'm saying is, I think that $1,000 is outlandish for a phone.
But that's why it's not selling.
Plus, it used to be subsidized. It's not subsidized now.
Yes, it is. Well, there is a subsidizing of sorts.
At $700, the phones. What was subsidizing them was we were paying $199.
Right.
At $299. That's the difference. You were with iPhone 6 and iPhone 7, you paid full price, which was $600 or $700.
No, it was $500. And it was $500 for the 6.
Said it was $900, and when you paid $600, you were getting some amount of subsidizing.
No, I was told I paid full price for the phone.
Well, no, believe it or not, I think if you were paying $600, they were paying like $1,200 or something. Yeah.
Yes.
That's why you have to. Did you have to sign a 2-year agreement? Yeah. Well, that's why.
Okay.
Okay. So that's why. So you were helping pay off the phone, and of course, if you lost the phone during that time, you still had to keep paying the money.
I got insurance.
Yeah. Well, that's what you got to do. You got to get insurance, and that adds to the cost. Yes, Jeff.
Yeah, I always had insurance, and I did lose one of the phones.
Yeah,
and it was very nice not to have to buy another one.
Now, the new thing is that what you do with the phone, and I've tried to figure this one out, but what you do is I can get an iPhone X for next to nothing. But what I do is I buy a monthly plan in which it includes essentially the rental of the phone.
Okay. It's like 40-something bucks a month, $48 a month. That's what I got. And I've got I think a 2-year plan, but at the end of the 2 years, it's my phone.
So how much?
No, won't be paid in 2 years because I'm doing that with with this iPhone, and it's more than 2 years, and it's still not paid. It won't be paid until May, I think. So your plan may be 2 years with your phone company, but take a look at what your terms are for paying that. I mean, in 2 years.
I don't know. I might have put down a deposit.
Oh, okay.
I might have given them $300.
Well, what happens is, so how much are you paying per month between the monthly payment for the phone and the phone itself, and the what do you call it, the service?
I've got 3 things on my bill, and I'm not 100% sure because I just got everything running. I've got the iPad. I've got 2 cell phones. Both of them, the other one belongs to me, and this one is paying by the month.
Are you on a grandfathered program for all? You switched. So why would you pay separate data for your iPad when you can just turn on hotspot here and use data from here? I don't understand why it does.
It's more convenient. I have a program that I go into people's houses with this laser thing, and I'm able to measure, create a floor plan, and have it download directly to my computer at the store.
So just turn on. Have you ever used Hotspot?
I hadn't had Hotspot because I was an AT&T grandfathered.
Yeah, well, you should try
Hotspot now because I have unlimited with Verizon.
Because it's so cheap. I mean, it's so easy to do. You just flip the button. All this because you're obviously just like when you walk into your house, your phone finds your Wi-Fi. Your phone will see your hotspot. It'll your iPad will automatically see your hotspot. It'll connect, and boom, you're online. And
I was paying like $250 before. Now I'm paying like $180 on Verizon, and maybe it's gone up because I got this phone. So I'll look at my first bill. I haven't looked at the bill yet. The bill goes in. The other guy they pay it at the store. But so I'm not 100% sure what it is. But when I compared them initially, it was less.
So you get this because you use it as a business expense. That's why you spent that money on the iPhone 10.
No, because I wanted it. The problem is my girlfriend has the iPhone 5, and they couldn't migrate that over to Verizon. So I gave her my 6S Plus, and I got the 10. So if I was going to get something, what the hell? The difference in price.
How much are you paying for the whole bunch every month?
I'm not 100% sure. It's either 180 or 220.
That's a lot.
Just for you?
No, for 2 phones and the iPad.
Because for my phone, I pay 130, and then my iPad is like another $28 a month. I think I'm right on that. I don't, you know. But I would like to lower it, actually. You know,
turn off your iPad and just use your hotspot.
He doesn't have a hotspot. He's with AT&T.
Oh, he is
like I was.
Yeah, if your grandfather, they won't let you use hotspot.
If I ungrandfather, I can then use the hotspot. Yeah.
Right. And
I don't know. I don't know if I need 2 gigs a month. Okay, because I don't think I use that much. You know, because
the house.
Well, yeah, most of the stuff I do is are in Wi-Fi areas.
Right.
The only time I went over 5 gigs was when I was watching the Great American Broadcast.
That thing we could suck up 2 days.
Boom.
2 days.
I was getting a warning they were going to slow me down.
Yeah. Actually, tonight, by the way, on an average, we have more people watching at any given moment than we used to have on Facebook Live. So
you find out about it.
Yeah, and let me also. So I may keep doing this on into the future, but let me say to everybody who's watching right now, and this is a plea from me. Look, see, I went full screen with me. A plea from me. If you can, go to the. If there's a thing I think on your page that says subscribe. Is it that right, Scott? That there's a thing that says subscribe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now on the when I reopened it.
Yeah.
It's not red for me, so I can't subscribe again.
Yeah, but how much are the subscriptions up to? Does it say?
406.
406. We got 2 people who signed up.
No. 4.
4. What were we at?
402.
Oh, really? Okay, we need 1,000. Okay, so just if you're watching us, subscribe. Tell all your friends to subscribe. That would be nice. You know, I would appreciate it. Please.
You only do it.
What?
Well, what you have to do is on everything you send out, you have to put a link to YouTube to subscribe. So you put a button on the thing. Even on the Gabnet website, you can put a button that says subscribe to our channel on YouTube.
Oh, well, I'll look into that later. So. I have a subscribe on Facebook, but nobody seems to do it. Anyway, I'm kind of slowly going to get out of Facebook. You know, it's just a place for me to say, hey, here I am. Here's where you go to find me every night. You know, and
because it's a Russian plant.
Huh?
Facebook is a Russian plant.
I just don't. You know, I don't like the way they do business. I mean, the other day I ran my Alex Bennett show from 1999 on what do you call on YouTube, and I was fine when it ran, but when it went to process it and make it a permanent file, they said we can't show it in the United States because there are 2 songs you play that we can't get clearance for. But that doesn't bother me because I don't have those kind of problems. I'm just wondering what's going to happen when I try footage from various things to make a point about something. We'll have to see not from movies or anything, but you know, there's stuff that probably is I get from YouTube actually, to be honest with you. So we'll see. But I just think they're more forgiving. In other words, they didn't say, oh, you're a bad boy, you played music. They just said, hey, this can be shown anywhere else in the world but the United States. Well, you know, I want this on in the United States. So consequently, I pulled the thing, you know. But at least they're decent about it. You know, they have a concept of what video and audio is all about and licensing of it. And what they do is they have certain things with certain music or certain clips and so on that if you use them in a show, they don't cut it out of the show. They don't stop you like they stopped me at Facebook. They simply say, the owner of this, you cannot monetize this video. And the owner of the copyrighted material can run commercials before your show. okay? And I'll buy that. That's fine with me, you know? But at least they find a way to handle it. Facebook just is very dogmatic and very Nazi-like in their behavior. So, and plus, I'm looking at the picture right now. This thing hasn't faltered once tonight. It's smooth as a bell. If a bell is smooth. It's smooth, and it really seems to be working well. And maybe you people want to write something and tell me what you think about the picture you're getting now. You know,
some of the colors are very good.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see here. Wow, even Fox showing the Democratic response. Oh yeah, they all do. They all show the Democratic response, Scott. But anyway, so yeah, no, the color's great, the pictures are great, you guys look great, except for Phil. Phil's a little fuzzy tonight, but that's probably his new equipment.
Yeah.
His head looks big too.
Yeah, well, he has a big head.
Yeah,
he's always
that's the only thing you can see.
Yeah, it's a big giant head. So anyway, listen, I got a couple of stories here. Everybody can see my plaid pants tonight. I'm going to have to go back to wearing. I thought I'd wear the turtleneck tonight because I had it on in court, and it's.
I have plaid pants as well.
Huh? You have plaid pants too? The plaid pants club. Yeah.
I got blue Gotkas.
Aren't those the most comfortable things to wear at home?
Oh, they're great. I work in them all day.
You work in them all day. Yeah, I work in them too, and I work in them tonight. You know, I mean, I had pants on earlier today. I put these on. I have a 2-hour show to do. I got to sit here and do this.
I can't go visit a customer wearing these. Unfortunately, I have to get dressed tomorrow.
Yeah, I thought, what would happen if I actually went to the courtroom wearing these? You know. Would they just not allow me in, or would they?
Was there a gangster that showed up?
Well, yeah, well, there was
That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah,
it was.
I'm trying to remember his name now. Yeah.
Giancana? No.
No, it wasn't Giancana. Giancana was killed, I believe. At least that's what I remember. Anyway.
Dapper Don.
Yeah, Dapper Don. Anyway, where was I? Oh, so let me take this a step further here. I have some items here. I have a couple items that I collected. And one of them, you know, as though the allegations against Fox don't keep on coming. Here's the latest one. A bombshell allegation against Fox News Channel and its one-time chief Roger Ailes, former Fox News star Andrea Tantaros. Do you remember Andrea Tantaros?
Yeah,
she was the hottest one they ever had on that show. On that, what is it? The
Five Friends or whatever, the Five?
She was on the Five. She was a co-host of the Five, but prior to that, she was on the one with all the women sitting on a couch showing their legs.
Did she say that she didn't get promoted, or she was promised something she didn't get?
Well, she was a former co-host of the Five, and makes the allegation as part of an amended complaint. And here's what she complained about. She said the channel had a closed-circuit television network that enabled Ailes to monitor offices, including those where most of the network's female talent disrobed daily.
Sweet.
There was a.
Did Trump have a line to it?
What?
I wonder if Trump had a channel on it.
There was a biannual trunk show in the spring and fall conducted by Fox Wardrobe Department, the amended complaint says. The trunk show was held in an empty Fox office, and female talent was expected to disrobe down to their undergarments to try on new on-air dresses for the next season without even the benefit of a curtain. The dresses were pre-selected for the women by the wardrobe department before their arrival. Pants were not an option. I never saw a woman wearing pants on Fox. That's why only reason I used to watch Fox, to see how high the dresses would go during the show, you know. Upon information and belief, Ailes was recording female employees disrobe without their consent in their offices during the biannual trunk show. Fox News responded with the following statement. Fox News moved for sanctions against the lawyer who filed Andrea Tantaro's original lawsuit, and he has since withdrawn. None of the 4 lawyers currently representing Tantaros in the action signed her new complaint, which she purports to have written herself. Her outlandish claims lack any factual basis.
She was an attorney, wasn't she?
Huh? I think she was, yeah. So I hope she turns up somewhere. She was good. Am I being sexist now? I guess I am, huh?
Join the club.
Oh boy, yeah, no, because I remember that show because once they got rid of her, she was the best looking woman on the show. She was the hottest one on the show. But anyway, now I may be arrested any moment. I may be taken off the air any moment.
I'll drag you out of there in cuffs.
Well, I'm guilty of whatever Richard Roper is guilty of. Do you know who Richard Roper was? He was the last co-host
on that TV show, Three's Company.
No. Richard Roper was the last reviewer to work with what's his name?
Roper and what's his name? Ebert
and Roper. When Ebert's partner died, died, they replaced her with Roper. Well, anyway, when Ebert died, Roper held on to the show for a little while, but it didn't stick. Well, Roper's name came up in the New York Times investigation. Now, I know what everybody's thinking. I'm about to say that he molested somebody or he groped somebody. But as a result of this, he has been suspended by the Chicago Sun-Times. Let me tell you what he did. Film critic Richard Roper's reviews and columns will not be published by the Chicago Sun-Times as an investigation is conducted into his Twitter following.
Oh, the phony Twitter accounts that you could buy Twitter followers. You're on the hook.
Well, what's so bad about that?
Well, as a person who has bought his Twitter followers, a lot of them, not all of them, I don't see anything wrong with it. Roper was one of several prominent journalists, sports stars, politicians, and celebrities who had paid to increase their Twitter followers with fake accounts. They're not fake accounts, by the way. According to the New York Times report published over the weekend, Roper's Twitter following currently numbers over 225,000, but it was not specified by the New York Times how many of those followers were fake. Now, when I bought mine, because if you go over to my Twitter account, you'll see I have I think they've dwindled a little, 47,000. But they're not fake. They're actual people. Of course, when I look at the list, a lot of them are Russian.
Yeah.
Or people in foreign countries who would never understand a word of what I was writing. But they never thought to drop me as a Twitter feed as well. In a statement, the Sun-Times editor Chris Fusco said, "We became aware of over the weekend of issues relating to Richard Roper's Twitter account. We're investigating these issues. We will not be publishing any reviews or columns by Rich until this investigation is complete." Now,
that's a vanity thing. I don't think you're self-employed, so you can get away with it, but it's a vanity thing.
Unless you're trying to monetize Twitter somehow or otherwise make money from the amount of subscribers you have, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But if you're misrepresenting yourself by, what you say and who's paying attention to it because you've got a huge following, that I see a problem with.
I did it because and this is my take on it. I did it because I knew that companies, radio companies, would go to your Twitter feed to see how many followers you had before they decided whether they wanted to consider you for employment.
Well, see, that might be one of those cases where they could, where they can call you out because that's misrepresentation.
Well, no. What I'm saying is it's their problem if they're using that kind of stupid reasoning to, to say, okay, we're going to hire you because you have 47,000 Twitter followers. No, hire me because I do a good talk show, because I can get you good ratings, because I can bring in money. But it's Twitter followers is a bad reason.
So one of the radio stations that I work for on Long Island is looking for people, and I saw their ad. And their ad, more than about what you do on the air, seemed to be how you manage social media. So today, radio is all about social media. And that very well might be, it's like lying on your resume.
Is it?
You lie on your resume, they can fire you. If they find your lie, that's grounds for firing you even 5 years down the road if they want to.
How do they know if my 47,000 followers are real or whether they're fake?
There's got to be a way of
there isn't.
running.
There isn't. There isn't. There just isn't. Take it from me. I mean,
and how do they find
Did
this?
they have some sort of software that allows them to see
No.
where all these things are coming
well,
from?
they can go and look,
ones-
but maybe I'm very popular in Bosnia. So,
but they can look and say, oh, these accounts seem to pop up on all of these other ones. Other people.
But that's not. I don't know exactly how it works. All I know is I paid one company something like $40, and the next day I had 30,000 more followers on Twitter. I could go online right now and buy them. I don't know where they get them or how they do it, but they can't just be people who don't exist or don't have an account at Twitter.
Do you look and see if they ever type anything, even if it's in another language? Can you look at those followers and see if they actually an active account?
I really no. I've never been able to find out.
You can't see a follower and then click on their name and see their profile.
But then again, I know I have at least 3,000-4,000 legitimate people who followed me. What can I say? They never write either. Yes, Jeff.
Many years ago,
when
the internet became somewhat of a new business opportunity, and a lot of salespeople were trying to bring out the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And thought that they could do it that way. And I'm sure that there was a way you could just buy names.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Lists.
And there were email lists.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. And I think it was just common business, particularly at the beginning, where it used to be done where you would buy a real printed list, the old ways, so to speak. So people probably are still doing it today.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of them, the idea of getting Russian people who can't even understand the language, it's not going to be very helpful.
I really don't have any idea. I haven't even checked it, but I could probably look up by YouTube followers. And I bet there's a place you can go and get YouTube followers. That's how I'll get my 1,000. Fuck you. You don't have to subscribe to me if you don't want to.
That's right. The hell with you.
Tomorrow, tune in. You'll see there are 10,000 subscribers for Alex Bennett.
Since they pay and give awards and so forth at YouTube for different levels of followers or subscribers,
they don't do it for that.
Matt got a plaque at 500.
He may get a plaque, but he ain't getting money. He's not getting money for that. He's getting money for how many people watch his videos.
Yeah. Well, it was enough to move him and his family from Sydney to New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Although he's moving Monday. He moved Monday to Brooklyn. He says he couldn't take the noise. He was living on 4th Street, West 4th Street.
Yeah.
And he said that he couldn't record any videos because there was constant sirens and noise in the background.
Well, with all that money he's making, he should have bought a soundproof apartment.
He should have, but he didn't realize you didn't want to be in the front of the building. So he moved to Brooklyn.
Oh, okay. Well,
Quiet Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really.
but you can't fake how many people are watching you at any given moment. But you could probably certainly fake subscribers. And you're not even faking them; they actually are subscribers. You're just paying for them. That's the only difference. But I wondered, like you did, Rob, as to what Richard Roper exactly did that was so horrible.
He must have somehow tried to monetize it or use it in a negotiation ploy with the newspaper to say, "Look at my vast audience; they pay attention to me," and that has to be the only reason.
See, I mean, I joke about my Twitter followers all the time here. Yeah. You've known about this for a long time,
right? So that's what I mean. He must have somehow monetized it with his company, and that bit him in the ass.
I did it so that if Sirius XM went to look at my Twitter account, they'd go, "Boy, he was popular." That's really why I did it.
Look, did Mr. Roper get replaced by Barney Fife on the TV show Three's Company? As the landlord.
He was Mr. Roper.
Huh?
No,
who was Mr. Roper?
Oh, what's his name? Norman Fell.
Norman Fell. Okay, was Mr. Roper. Yeah. Are you going to keep doing that joke all night?
I'm going to shove it down your throat until you can't taste it anymore.
Well, we're not getting as many people calling us lately. I wonder what that's all about. Oh, well.
You banned Mike.
We banned. Yeah, well, that was like having nobody in one of the squares anyway. And then, and when he did, and then when he did say something, his voice scared everybody away.
Where's Brian?
What?
Where's Brian been? It's been a long time.
Yeah, Brian. Well, Brian called us about a week ago, something like that.
A week ago or so.
Oh,
yeah. He hasn't been. He hasn't
when you're at house arrest, they don't let you use Skype.
No. And I heard from Renee the other night. She said we probably will hear from her again soon. There went my torn meniscus. It just I moved the wrong way. Damn it. Hate it. I hate getting old. It's like
I think Trump exhausted all of anybody who listened to him all night tonight.
Really?
They had to go to sleep.
Really? Yeah, it could be.
See, and I wasn't exhausted by him. If you know what, if he were that way, look, I don't agree with his politics, but if he were presidential like that from the beginning, he'd have been just like George Bush or any other Republican candidate that I didn't necessarily agree with. So I thought tonight was. I mean, I can't wait.
He did a good job for himself.
I can't wait to see what he tweets tomorrow morning to blow all this. But in the meantime, tonight he acted like a president.
When he was in Switzerland last week, they said that he did a good job there, too. He stayed on point. And so, except for the fake news thing with the news media. But so maybe this is a turn of events. He's gotten rid of Bannon. He's gotten rid of a lot of the people that were the disruptors.
Yeah, but I don't think it's that. I think it's personality. I really believe that that's his personality. He's not a presidential style.
You can goad him. You can goad him into something where he makes a mistake. I mean, Jay-Z the other day was on some TV program and didn't
Van Jones' show.
Yeah, on Van Jones's show,
night.
And he didn't have nice things to say, particularly about Trump. The next day, Trump is like tweeting,
right?
And he always tweets in a bullying way. In other words, I'm going to get even with this person because he said something bad about me. I'm sure Obama saw a lot of bad tweets about himself, and always had the attitude. So, let them say what they're going to say. I'm not going to reply to it because if I reply to it, I give it substance. And then of course the next day everybody was talking about Jay-Z, and it's almost a mark of a rite of passage if somehow you make it into a Trump tweet where he blasts you.
We should work on that.
You know what you need to do. You know what you need to do, Bennett.
Yeah, well, he doesn't give a shit about me. And who do I go after? I go after Schumer and what's her name?
Gillibrand.
Gillibrand, yeah. Who I've lost all faith in those people too. I'm doing this because I'm feeling like I have to sneeze, so let me just blow my nose here. Oh, yeah, put in the sound effect. I turned my mic off so you couldn't hear it, you know. And anyway.
Tough requirements. There's a lot of tough requirements here.
There are a lot of tough requirements on this show. Boy, I'm telling you, this picture just looks so good. I could just stand here to be here and watch it all night. And the numbers have stayed pretty good all night. And, you know, so I guess you people like it. Now subscribe to it, okay? But what happens is...
got 400 and something, 406. I finally signed in, and I was already subscribed to your channel.
All you have to do, folks, is just... It's youtube.com/Bolo Bennett, BOLOBENNETT /live. That's
what I did, which is go to gabnet.net and just click on the link there.
Yeah, and if you have that page up, just put a tab on it, because anytime we're broadcasting video, it's going to be active. In other words, I activate it from here, so that when I turn off tonight, this thing is going to go inactive. And if I were to turn it on 5 minutes later, it would be active again. So that's the way it works. It's really cool. It's very cool. And it's a better picture, and it sounds to me like the audio sounds to be tons better than we've had with Facebook Live. And I thought Facebook Live sounded good, you know. So anyway. But this will also, for all the people who want to know, where is it on Facebook? It'll be on Facebook after the show is over and I upload it. So you should know that, okay? But every night, just come right here, and this will be the place for you to come and be part of our citizens panel too. You know, now that you can be on and look better. And you know what's amazing? I have to hand it to Skype. The video on all you guys tonight, really, except for Phil, is sensational. But the trouble is, he bought a $2,000 machine, but he got his camera from Mike. So that's.
I bought a $6,000 machine for $2,000. So.
Yeah, but it's used.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, then it's worth $2,000. Maybe if I went online, I could get one cheaper.
Yeah, it depends on what's in it.
How old is it?
2 years. It's 2 or 2.5 years old. It's 6 core.
Mine's 8 core.
Yeah, but this it's got a great video card. Just the video card alone was a $1,200 upgrade.
Oh well, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fast. Yeah, but your 8 core is 300 years old.
No, it isn't 300 years old.
You got to use a chisel and a hammer and some concrete tablets to be able to type.
Yeah, you have to chisel the picture into everybody's screen. It takes time.
Yeah.
You know, I found that what's amazing.
Wrote the 10 Commandments on your computer.
We feed the 24/7 feed from a mini Mac, and that thing is marvelous. You know, to begin with, these old Macs heat up pretty good, and the mini Mac, it doesn't even heat up. You know, there we go.
On the Gab store.
Huh?
It'll be available on the Gabnet store.
Well, let me know how much. You know, I may buy it from you.
All right.
You know, don't wipe it though, because I want to get all your Social Security numbers and everything off of it. So, you know.
Yeah.
How many people here are really worried about? And I was talking about this to somebody the other day. How many people here are actually worried about identity theft and really fight against it? What do you do? What do you do, Phil? And then what do you do, Rob?
I've got a service that monitors my accounts in the dark web and all of that stuff. Because
what's the name of the company?
It's through my bank.
It's not LifeLock, is it?
No, it's not LifeLock. It's like LifeLock.
They've gotten a bad rap lately for some reason.
Yes, I canceled it.
Really? Why?
I think it was scamming me. I don't know. I just felt like I was giving him all this money, and I was finding out there was a sexual predator in my area.
Yeah, I'm paying $7.50 a month, and I think I'm going to cancel it and go just watch it on what's Credit Karma. Credit Karma, within a day, or even if you open up a new account, I get an email.
Yeah, I have Credit Karma.
A warning, and it's good.
It's amazing. I had a card that I had been paying off for, the last 10 years, just a little bit at a time, right? And we finally paid it off. My credit is like excellent, all right? And there's a number associated with it. I can't remember the numbers. There were 2 different accounts. As soon as I paid off that account, my rating went down. Not much, but it went down because I don't owe anybody money.
That's right.
There's something else that happens with Credit Karma. If you charge something, they immediately show your utilization has gone up and your number goes down. But if I pay off everything, it takes 3 months before they report the fact that I don't owe anything.
I paid off a car loan early, and my credit went down because of it.
Yeah. I didn't pay my car loan off early. It just got paid off because I paid the last.
So
payment.
what does that say? What does it say about credit ratings? I mean, what your credit rating should be excellent because you've paid everything off and you don't owe anybody any money, and so therefore, if I want to borrow money from you, I've got some money to give you.
It will go back up, but closed accounts, when they close an account, when it's at the end of the term. So you don't want to close any accounts.
That's right. As soon as you close a checking account, or a credit card, boom, it goes down.
Your value is continuously paying the bank money every month. And if you stop, you're not a great customer anymore.
Yeah, but it isn't a matter of a great customer. It's you're saying this guy is a deadbeat or this guy isn't a deadbeat. And obviously you're not a deadbeat.
Yeah, well,
you're better than a deadbeat if you can continuously send them a check every month.
Like I haven't looked lately to see what my thing is anymore on Credit Karma, but I bet it's gone down. Just like my stocks did today. Go ahead.
I purposely keep like a $5 automatic charge or something to each credit card so that they don't go stale, and then I auto pay them. So like Hulu might get paid with one credit card.
I have a credit card I use every month, but at the end of the month, my business manager pays it all off.
But that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That won't bring down your credit. But if you close the account, for instance, my Audi was financed with Wells Fargo. Mm-hmm. At the end of the term, it was paid off, and the rating went down a few points. Then I bought a Toyota, and I had another that offset that.
I see. Okay, so
you just got to have. You gotta watch it.
I just don't understand. Okay, I mean,
if you watch it too much, it could drive you nuts.
Oh yeah, I only look once a week.
I don't even look once a week.
They change every week, so Credit Karma reports once a week.
Once a month or so I check, or once every couple of months now. Because when I was doing it every week, I was getting really aggravated because I was doing that. I was trying to consolidate my debt. Right. And I was like, okay, I got this paid off. Good. I'm closing this account or whatever. And I started seeing my number drop. It all caught up. It took a couple of months, maybe 6 months. And then it went up even higher. That's why I stopped watching it all the time.
But let's get back to this whole thing about identity theft. So you're worried about it, Phil. How about you, Rob? You said you're constantly.
Yeah, I'm worried about it, especially after the Experian. What is it? Experian. Equifax.
Yeah.
What I did was I locked my credit, and that's to my detriment in ways because sometimes you don't realize or you forget you locked it, and you go to someplace and you need to get something which you don't even think of, and they go to check your credit and they reject it because they can't see it. And it's so then you have to call. You got to do this whole rigmarole to get it opened, and then you can open it for a day or for one business, or you can open it for a couple of hours or whatever. It's a pain in the ass. But I locked my credit so nobody can access it.
I fell victim to a PayPal phishing thing, and I realized that as soon as I put in my email address, and I was glad that I didn't put in my Social Security number, but I'm still getting warnings that it shows up on my email address shows up on the dark web.
But to begin with, who's telling you it shows up on the dark web?
Whatever that service is I have from Mechanics Bank.
Yeah, but does that mean I don't understand? I mean,
the service they monitor these things.
What's all that noise going on? Is that at your place, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm going to turn it down.
Okay, yeah. He gives a look. Did you see that look?
That was the look.
That was the, hey, dear, I'm on the Ramble with Alex look.
You had to see that. Just listening to this, you missed it.
I
got quiet.
Yeah.
Me too. It's like, whoa.
But here's the thing. When they talk about the dark web, it's nice of people to say to you, yes, we see your name come up on the dark web. But what does that mean exactly?
$7.50 a month.
Yeah, well, I mean, what is the dark web? Like, I've only had myself compromised once, and it was my PayPal account, and it was compromised by somebody who was buying some stuff off a game thing in Singapore. And so I got a hold of the people in Singapore, and I told them about it, and they said, well, that's not acceptable, and they canceled whatever account this came from. And I went to PayPal. I told them about it, and they said, we will have a investigation. And within a few days, I got a letter saying, hey, we've taken that charge off of your PayPal account. But that's the only time I've ever had anything close to that happen. I think one point we did change my credit card. We got a new one, and I can't remember what the reason was, but I don't think anybody was charging stuff to me. But that was the only time anybody was charging something to me.
That's really hard to believe. And for all the time that you've had credit cards and stuff, I can't tell you how. It just happened to me 2 weeks ago, where I happened to just check my bill for something, and lo and behold, I saw some airfare. On an airfare charge on my card, and they had I caught it so early. You know how it only says pending when it first goes on?
Yeah.
It said pending. I called up Chase and I said, I don't know what this is, and they canceled the card, sent me a new one. I can't tell you how many times.
The only problem with that, I did have to cancel a card, and I'm trying to remember what it was for exactly, but there was some kind of intrusion into my card. But that's the only time I really remember it happening. And wait a minute, let me finish what I was saying. And the problem with that is you got to be very careful about that, because once I change the card, I then got to remember all the people that I have listed for that card.
Remember your iPad? You lost your deal, your unlimited deal, for a little while Was the lost card, or is that because you just you changed something?
No, it's because I think that was when I changed iPads, and I went over and I didn't push the right button. I didn't push the one that grandfathered me in. So I called them up and I told them about it, and they took it off, and then I did it. So that's how I solved that problem.
I had a deal where I was going scuba diving in Maui, and I got a brand new credit card. And so it was a place that I'd never gone with before, and I had to pay for the dives up front. It was maybe $600. So I give him the credit card number over the phone, and this credit card, I had just gotten it. I never used it. I just activated it. An hour later, somebody in Spain bought a $5,000 watch on that credit card. And I get a call. I don't remember which bank.
Wait a minute, a $5,000 watch that you didn't buy?
I wasn't in Spain. I was in San Francisco. I was talking to somebody in Maui, and somebody in Spain. They must have compromised that number somehow when they used it. Somebody did something.
Or it could be that particular place stole your fucking identity.
Well, I called them and sort of accused them of that.
See, here's the thing that always kind of bothered me about some people. They go, I'm afraid of identity theft. I'm not going to do this. I don't do that. I don't like doing business on the internet. And yet they will then go into a restaurant with that same credit card, give the credit card to the waiter, who disappears with the card into a back room for about 10 minutes and then comes back with your card, and you don't think he could have identity theft? Bullshit.
Most of these restaurants now come to you with a...
well, that's new. And that's been going on in Europe for the last 10 years, where they come with this little thing, and they swipe your card right in front of you, and then they charge it. But that I can't think of a restaurant I've been to in the last year where they've done that.
Ruth's Chris.
Well, that may be fine. I don't go to Ruth's Chris because I don't like overpriced steaks. You know.
There's a new one on the menu now. It's really good.
Yeah, well, you know, it's all the meat you buy, and I know where to buy the good meat. So anyway, but the point I'm making is that, you know, this is that you take a big chance when you're handing your credit card to a person in a you know. So don't tell me that you're not willing to do business on the web, where Amazon goes out of their way to try and keep your account secure.
Yeah, I mean, it's way safer on the internet than it is when you give it to somebody. And
people were afraid of the internet and afraid to spend money on the internet for initially, but I think that's been overcome with Amazon.
Forbin Colossus says, my identity was stolen by a fucking San Francisco waiter. Happened on Clement Street.
About teach you for shopping on Clement Street.
About 15 years ago, my brother went to buy some clothes, and he was standing at the counter in the store. Yeah. And he gave the guy his credit card, and the guy swiped the credit card. He left the store. About a month later, he started noticing some weird charges, and he called the company. The company traced it back to that store because they asked him.
Yeah.
And they found there was a guy, because they noticed other credit card holders in that store. Turns out a guy was doing 2 swipes. He swiped it into his phone. He had a little reader, and he swiped it into his phone, and he also swiped it on the company's system, and he sold all those numbers. So it can happen right in front of your eyes too if you're not careful.
I tell Colossus, you know, Clement Street, the major portion of Clement Street is all Russian. You know, maybe there's some sort of conspiracy going on with the Russians in these numbers.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, I don't worry about it that much because I haven't had that much of a negative experience with it.
So the more dangerous thing to have happen to you, and this is the latest scam, is that people who own homes, and what they do is they figure out ways to get your title from you. And if you don't have one of these super locked title things, well, you don't even know what's happened.
Like homesteading.
You know.
Well, there's another thing going on right now during tax time that they say that you should probably put in for your tax return as soon as possible, because what happens is there are people out there waiting to use false, you know, steal your identity and go collect. You know, file a fake return and get the money on that. And then when you file your return, they go, wait a minute, you already filed a return. That's happening now, too. So is this wonderful world of the internet, has this been such a godsend to us? Has this been wonderful for us? You know, I mean, it's become the biggest way people literally steal stuff from people.
It's a double-edged sword. It cuts on both sides. There's good and there's bad.
I mean, even the most sophisticated of us have answered, as you said, a phishing letter, you know, where you thought...
haven't yet.
I'm very good about it, but I almost did it the other day. It was so sophisticated that I almost did it. And then I suddenly realized, oh, wait a minute. No, this is
You know how they almost got me once? I was expecting something. Mm-hmm. FedEx. And it was a little bit late. And so I get this letter, or I get this email from what I thought was FedEx. And I opened it up, and it talked about something that was pertinent to me. And I'm like, I make it a practice. I never click on a link in any email. If I'll call FedEx, and that's what I did. I picked up the phone and I called FedEx, and they said, no, that's not the case.
But just by opening that letter, didn't you maybe compromise your computer?
No, it was just a link that they wanted your information. It was a link that said, put your information in here and your tracking number with your information, and will show you where the package is. Sorry, it's delayed. Blah, blah, blah.
Few things for people to remember. Do not ever give out that information unless you're buying something online. And then if you're buying something online, if people will look at my webpage at gabnet.net, you will see that I have a secure thing at the top. I'm a secure site now. That guarantees that any business you would do with me is not going to get ripped off, okay? But if you go to a place and they want money, I know that the people that I do business with all the time that carry the Gabnet stream, unfortunately, they don't have that secure thing, although I do pay them anyway. But if you see that security thing, it's better off for you to be able to give them an email address or things like that. But if you get a letter and they want any information like that from you, do not give it, because most reputable companies will not. Okay, so it's simple, but I just think that we're living in a very predatory age. Have you had any problems, Scott, at all with identity theft? Wait a minute. Turn on your mic. It's not on. No, your mic isn't on. Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Marcel, sign language it for us.
Sign language. Anyway.
There was a disaster about 6 months ago, and the police department had a person signing, and that person wasn't really signing, and they were all upset that.
That's funny though.
Wasn't there a person? Wasn't there a person with the president, like Obama or whatever, in Africa or someplace like that? That was signing, but he didn't know how to sign. He was a phony.
Yeah, but I don't think it was Obama. I think it was a police department.
No. This is an older story. This is an older story.
Well, this one's like around the time of the hurricanes.
Yeah, it was the hurricanes.
Yeah,
I saw that guy on TV. I was like, that's really weird. I've never seen
doing
that.
all sorts of stuff like like this and like this. And well, it wasn't that bad, but somebody actually knew what it said and said this guy isn't doing anything. He's gibberish.
Well, anyway, let me start the theme here. Hey, listen, thank you, because you were the first show on YouTube that we've done live. I mean, as a regular thing, and the numbers have been so good, and the reaction to it has been so good. I don't have anybody complaining to me that we can't get it. It's the easiest thing in the world. And if you forget what it is, it's facebook.com/Bolo Bennett/live. That's it. You get the page. There'll be nothing on it, nothing going. The minute I click and start broadcasting here, all of a sudden you'll see something. So you don't have to do anything. Just go to the page.
Well, you need to make a video and post it on Gabnet.
No, I'm not. It's so simple that if you can't do it, you don't deserve to watch this program. If you're a fucking moron, this is the way we weed out. It's our own form of Darwinism. Okay.
Mostly you have left wingers, so they're never going to be able to get past it.
Hey, thank you very much, Scott Boddicker. We appreciate it.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Oh, now we can hear you.
It was stuck off. I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, Jeff Stein, thank you. Thank you to Phil Meyer, and thank you to Rob in a nice, big, wonderful way, because we're in high def and everything like that. Just give a big wave goodbye to the YouTube audience, okay? And that's our citizen panel for tonight. I really thank them for joining me. A good evening had by all. I wish there were a few more, but you can't have everything. I'm just getting everything ready for the next show, which is, as it might be, The Intersection, which is next over most of this GabNet, followed by Connections, and tomorrow night it will be at 9:30, Damian Chaplin and The Exchange. In the meantime, come back to YouTube again tomorrow night. I hope we can build on this audience. The acceptance has been very good, and I love the way it looks. So, that's all you need. Anyway, I'm Alex Bennett. See you again tomorrow night, same time, same station in life. And if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye.